All right, hey guys, here we are, hole number 10 that we're going to take a look at here. See, a little bit in between clubs. I do really like this wind, but as I mentioned, we're going to use a grid. If you're on Apple, there's a built-in one. You'll have to go into the settings. You can probably find it on YouTube or Safari, whatever. Somebody has instructions posted for you to do it on Apple. I'm using the Golf Clash Notebook, which is in the Play Store and the Apple Store. But for the Apple Store, there's no grid, so don't get the conception that you're going to get a grid on Apple, because it's just not possible. So they have the built-in grid for you to use on the Apple. It's a little bit less specific, but it gets the job done, just the same as this. I like to use this just because it's a little bit cleaner. I like keeping my screen as clean as possible. Additionally, if you want a free grid out there, Material Q is the way to go, but you'll have to do all the coding yourself. You have to put the lines in manually. In the Golf Clash Notebook Facebook group, there is Material Q guidance, and you can also search my other YouTube channel and find a Material Q YouTube walkthrough, which will teach you how to. But if you need some configs, they're also found in the Golf Clash Notebook Facebook group, in the event that you do want to use grids. But as I mentioned, I'm going to be able to use it as a learning tool for you guys, just to be able to actually see the rings better. So you won't have to question my adjustments anymore. And if you have trouble seeing the screen, or it's a little bit too zoomed out for you or whatever, it'll be easier for you to actually see my ring adjustments. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay pretty close to the max line here. You can see that I'm using 5-6 backspin, somewhere in there. I just come in just a little bit on the max line. But you can see I'm using this left spin because it tends to break a little right. So I'm just using that as kind of a straightening out tool. And in terms of Route 5, I'm thinking 145-ish for this adjustment. So if I was to use the calculator, and again, I can kind of do the numbers in my head, but I like to use the calculators just so other people can actually see what I'm doing. 5.9. It's not that hard to set bounds. For example, I can find the limit at 1.4. I can find the limit at 1.5. On 1.4, and then we'll know that the 145 min is just the split difference between those two adjustments. So that's typically how I work through it in my head. But the way that you do it with the calculator, you can see, it's just going to be right there at about 6 rings, just a hair under. So that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to use this straight, and again, just before 6 rings. And you can see just how much easier of a learning tool this is for you guys, is it really helps you to see the adjustments better. Doesn't make me really any more likely that it's going to go in. I still have to play it right. You can see it's coming in just too hot. So I just was not short enough with my... Anytime that I'm cranking up the backspin like that, I'm so worried it's going to come up short. You'll see sometimes I push it through the hole a little bit too much. I wanted to make sure that it got there, and I was just a little bit too cavalier with that. So that's why it came in just a little bit hot. But you can see that my ring adjustment right on line very easily. If I would have just been just a little bit more aggressive and confident that it was going to run out, we would have been good. As you saw, I had the line, very good chance of making that. But you can also see that's actually, when you look at proximity to the hole, that's, what I did with no grid. That shot's worse than pretty much the entire front 9 except for one. But I told you going into one is one of the toughest shots in the entire game. So being able to get every single wind, every single club down, very tough when you're shooting to an uphill target like that. And it's really one of the most uphill holes in the entire game. So it's not something you typically have to worry about. But good luck with that 10th hole. We're going to go to this 11th here and, hopefully get a drop to fall.